Or just eye candy, Rick.
Rick is always eye candy. What's up, everybody, and thank you guys so much for tuning in to the 5 p.m. Q&A. Rick, we got, what, about 11 hours or so left on the campaign?
No. It ends at 10 a.m. tomorrow, so that's 7 plus 12, that's 17 hours.
17, thank you.
Yeah.
That's why you're the money man, and I'm just here.
Well, let's just hope that I'm right.
I really hope so, too. So, yeah, we thought it'd be fun to just kind of get you guys all here. Let's see, we've got 28 in chat right now, Ooh. So that'll be nice. So if you guys have questions, we also have Joe Boyden joining us live in studio. He's right over there, but he's also in chat on Twitch. So if we happen to be talking about something and you ask something of Joe, he'll definitely see it there in the corner. So, yeah, we'll just kind of run with this and see what happens. Jesse? Say what? You gotta lean forward. I gotta lean forward? I apologize.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, guys, where are we looking? Where are we at? Are we on?
We're on. We're here.
We're on.
All right, so overall, I think it's been a fairly good campaign. We've unlocked some anti-stretch goals. We unlocked all of our stretch goals. Mm-hmm. Has there been any point in this where you guys were nervous about reaching a substantial goal? Not just the original one that we met, but one that could...
reached it.
Well, we reached our 4,097 goal pretty quick.
Yeah.
Didn't we? Mm. Yeah. Well, what do you mean exactly?
So we originally kept the original goal was low. It was to match what we originally set forth with the first campaign.
So the goal that we set originally prior was 24,097, and then decided to just kind of have fun with it because we knew we were going to make the game. One way or another. And quite frankly, we just like to be in campaigns that are already funded. So, and we had faith. So we went ahead and moved it to 4,097 just to honor the original. Because we're really, 4 years away? That's 4 years removed from the original EO.
Yeah, I told you, I'm getting images like on Facebook saying 5 years ago, and it's definitely...
Yeah, that's when you were making it, though, right?
Yeah.
So, no, I think, obviously, it's one of those things. I had a lot of high hopes for this campaign being an Endangered Orphans themed deal. The first campaign out of the gate, nobody knew who we were, what Endangered Orphans was. So,
and our popularity would show that that's probably the best way to go, is for no one to know who we are.
Right.
Because we're the most popular when we're new.
When we're new and nobody knows.
When no one knows, because we had, like Rick was saying, even what the people who subscribed to or be the notifications.
Yeah, we had a couple of thousand that said, "Hey, let me know when you launch."
So we almost assumed, okay, well that's a guarantee because they're saying, "Let us know when you're launching this," and like not even half of those.
And it could be that they checked it out and just decided, you know what, this,
I
definitely wanted to look at it.
Right, I think a lot of them were expecting maybe an expansion to it or something to that effect. So that was the first surprise of, and then you absolutely never know.
Well, and that's part of the reason why, with this cultist edition, that I'm not 100% certain what our numbers are going to be.
Yeah, it's funny hearing like Angela will say like, God, Rick's underestimating, because her take is, because I remember you even saying $15. She's like, that's nothing. Like $15 is nothing for that, and we were kind of teetering. Is that a lot? Is that too little? And but she's like, Rick doesn't. He's underestimating the power of an add-on, and I'm thinking, is he though? You just you don't know. I could be
I want to be wrong.
Oh, we all want you to be wrong. The question is, is it? Are you onto something by simply saying, I think, because we are talking, let's say 30 squeaky wheels. It sounds like so many, and you look at it in the grand scheme of things, and you realize, oh, we sold 40 of them.
Now, but here's why I'm optimistic that I'm wrong. Because I didn't think that we were going to sell as many of the F-off slates.
Oh yeah,
which is not even which is nothing to do with the. I mean,
at all.
Basically, you take it off and it's.
But I think that's. I don't want to say it's a different beast, but with the F-off, those of you who don't know, we did a joke slipcover for another game that had, F off, like giving the middle finger. And it was completely a joke, was not meant for the public. So many people came out saying, I would actually buy that. And sure enough, we turned around and sold a chunk of them that we never planned on even making those. So you look at something like that sells, it has nothing to do with the game.
Right.
But I think the difference is they were involved in that joke. They were there when it happened. They wanted that to say, this is this unique little thing. The Cultist edition is just going to be, we'll see.
So I think what we're looking at is, so from the Who Goes There campaign, we got about 20% of our backers bought that sleeve. So if you use the same logic, let's just say we sell 25% on this one. That's the reason why I'm thinking that we're probably going to be right around the 500, 600, enough to make it, not enough to worry about running out.
Right, and all we want to do, to be clear, we like making money, we'd like to sell more because then it justifies doing more fun things in the future, so to be clear about that, but if this is the case, if we sold right over between 5 and 6, we are so good with that. It's just so far from a panic of 1,001. It's so far away that we'll be happy with it, with selling that many. But I think a lot of the panic is that everybody, we can't lock it in. What's the guarantee? Am I going to get the money back? It's like ridiculous.
Well, but it's really we'll definitely, nobody's going to be stuck with it. That's one of the neat things about what the backer kit module is. If it'll just kind of disappear. If we lock down the orders, we don't have the 500, which is possible, then it will be,
you're out nothing.
It'll be an easy thing for us to refund. I'm hoping that we hit it, but then again, the 500 is a real number because this is not a moneymaker for us.
No, at all.
Yeah.
It's something fun. And look, absolute worst case scenario, they still get that fate board because if it's not made, the fate board's already designed, that just becomes the either the anti-stretch, not anti, what was it, the social.
Yeah.
So they'll still get one or whatever the case is. The point is, you're not going to be out anything. You'll miss the cool little mask and alternate box cover, but
that's about
But
it.
you'll be able to get it on eBay later because I've reserved 100 already.
That's where they came from.
Since we're talking about,
should we just take that out of your check?
please,
It may be okay for y'all, but it's going to be great for me.
Dancing Ewok said, speaking of the Cultist, can you go into detail about that? Jesse, what brought up the idea of the Cultist mask?
Well, because I was drawing when creating this, you could see him with the Cultist mask on the puzzle. No, on the one of the images with him and the kid on the back of the card. There's the Cultist mask. This, by the way, was going to actually be the cover, and then I really wanted to tie it in. The more I thought about it, I really wanted to tie it in to the first Condal Cove. And then that kind of just started snowballing, and I really liked something gritty about the ritual type element. And again, it falls into Endangered Orphans is not a bad word, depending on who you ask. But Endangered Orphans, it sounds gross. It's like, well, you can't do that as children and you're crossing the line. So Cultists just fell right back into that. Well, since we're already endangering orphans, we might as well
Really
use it for our ritual. And that turned into it. Well, the only thing that makes it different besides the mask is he's harder to get rid of. Where you have the boogeyman, I think there's almost 50% chance of getting away from him, and the count, you have 4 out of 6. So you still get your chance of getting away twice. With the Cultist, it's not only are you not getting, I think it's 1 out of 6, but I think some of the other ones might end up even sending you in certain spots. So he's harder to escape. Once he gets a hold of you, you're not going to run as much.
But in the end, it's like when you start thinking about the mask and everything, and the part of the reason why the quality of our games quite frankly, every time exceeds our funding, because a lot of times, and there's some awesome producers, publishers out there of the games, but from the very beginning, we're kind of making games that we want to
Yeah.
play. We want to have on our shelves, and this mask is just kind of fun.
It is fun.
It's,
With
yeah.
D6, great. And this, we could make this example in every one of our games, but like in D6, we did not hit the funding goal for the plastic terrain. And I
Right.
wanted plastic terrain because this is a game that we're going to play on game nights and we're going to have fun with. And I remember Rick and I having the conversation. He was like, yeah, screw it. Plastic is really cool. And at that point, we are now digging into what would have been profit. And it's been the same with
Right.
everything. So when Rick came into my office and said, we might not hit the halfway, are you still wanting to make the cultist version? And normally I would have said yes, because we want this cool little dark version of the game. But this is the one time I said, no, this is just not a good example. I'd rather say that, but this is not a good example where it's worth losing a lot of money just for a little mask and a harder way to play. So
Plus, you
Patrick?
tried harder during D6 than you did this time.
That's true enough.
Other companies make
Did I miss
money,
it?
we make fun.
We make fun, yeah.
we put
that's
the
about
fun
it.
in funding.
Patrick Kearns wants to know, when do we get the crossover kit to merge the two games? Never? Thanks for that,
Yeah,
Patrick.
Corey, I think you handled that really well.
Thanks a
Well,
lot.
he is awfully verbose in his responses. That's what we love about you, Corey.
Oates says,
No. Go
well,
ahead.
stop it. This is for Joe. Joe, were you a backer of the original EO game? What made you want to approach CS to pitch your game?
That's Certifiable Studios, by the way.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you.
Real high I was like, Jesus. I knew it, but
I was not. And so that Certifiable Studios was a number of publishers who were attending PAX Unplugged at the same time I was. And Rick, you were the only one out of all the publishers I approached via email ahead of time. You were the only one that was like, hey, can we talk before PAX Unplugged even? And we did a Zoom call, and we saw it was easy to see what a good fit it was to fill in that sequel position or that second position of Endangered Orphans.
So,
You guys can translate that if the audio didn't come through.
no, you're okay.
Okay.
Here's the...
if y'all missed that, the gist of what he is saying is we were the only ones who talked to him before PAX. He had things set up to talk to people at PAX, but we approached him before PAX.
But it just really makes so. Why don't you explain, Joe, a little bit about the actual game? I mean, your original concept. It was not themed as Endangered Orphans, but it was just once we learned about it, it just was such a natural fit for us.
Which was fun because by the time Joe brought this to us, he actually had put an Endangered Orphans skin on the version he was pitching to us,
Right.
which was really cool.
Why don't you go ahead and talk about that, Joe?
Yeah, and since you guys reached out, I was like, oh, cool. And that's when I got some of the art for Endangered Orphans, and it was like skinned it for that. But it's funny, I was kind of struggling with the theme. I was thinking, okay, is this like a college party gone awry, and they found some spell book and conjured up some creature that then hunts down these drunk college kids throughout the castle? But one of the themes, and this is funny, Jesse, with the cultists now, I was thinking maybe it's just some crazy cult that all gets together in a house and they summon this demon that then hunts them down.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, when after actually seeing Endangered Orphans and seeing the shifting table tiles and the being the last man standing, it was really interesting to see how much they had in common in spirit, although different mechanisms in design, obviously.
Let's see, Jesse, can you tell us more about the fate board you unlocked with the social stretch goal?
Yeah, that because there was a lot of people asking about if the rooms could have abilities, and well, I say a lot of people. I remember two loud people asking about the rooms with abilities,
Which is the same two people that are going to get the Cultist edition.
right? Yeah. So it mechanically, there's not. The game is designed to be this quick, fun. Let's play again. It's enough layers to have strategy, but not enough that it becomes, a grind. And because of that, there's only so many options. Where if a room would say you can't do this or you can do that, it would just become a favorable room that everybody would go in. It wouldn't work that well. There's a limitation on how many things you could put per room. So that fate board, what I'm going to try to do with that is make it so the fate board is maybe some of these abilities that would be in the room. For example, normally Rath, when he lands on you, you have to roll to see if you could escape. You roll and look on the fate board and say, okay, I got a 5 or 6. I can now move. That's how all the fate boards work. Well, what I'm thinking is this fate board won't just do that, but instead of just saying, oh, you get to run away, your escaping is saying you now have to go to the room of mourning, or you now have to go to the most populated room, or something that affects. So it's not just a matter of letting you get away, it's letting you get away by doing a specific thing. So that in itself will give more variety than just moving to another room.
Kind of like the social stretch goal itself. You earned it by doing a specific thing, which is
if you want to
really,
teach some kind of moral lesson here, whatever.
I do actually. Well, what I was going to say, do we have a tally? I mean, I know that there's like 1,600 plus on
crazy.
Facebook.
Yeah, 1,600 plus on Facebook, and then another, it looks like a little bit over 2,000 through emails.
Right.
But that is also, the email ones, some of those are for other charities overseas. So I don't have a firm goal yet as far as what we have donated to St. Jude, but it was
But
quite
that's
a bit.
okay. I mean, that's not
absolutely.
the St. Jude part.
Or just to make it easy or convenient.
Was exactly. I mean, it was something that I've always supported St. Jude, and it's become a really important organization to me. Fortunately, my kids did not. It's not from that reasoning, but it's just such a remarkable organization. And,
it's a powerful cause, very powerful.
So I was liking the idea of putting it out there, because a lot of times we would just say, choose something, do something, just let us know. But sometimes, with our backers, I thought it would be a little easier. Hey, look, I'm just going to donate $1.
Well, they had
$5
the theory
or
that that's
something.
why we did so well, is because we said, here, do this.
Here's the core.
And it made it easy for them to say, okay.
So, but if the math is right, and we're already over, say, $3,600 or so, that's such a huge thing for
It's
us.
amazing.
I love
yeah,
it.
and it's great. And
Yeah.
we've had a lot of people who have commented and said, hey, I always thought you guys were pretty cool before, but doing this, giving back to the community, helping the community find a cause to get behind, everybody's really been loving that. And that's, we tease you guys constantly, because you tease us as well. We have that back and forth, but this really it makes all of us so happy.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It makes you feel really good.
And so we're so appreciative of you guys getting on board with us and supporting these causes and showing the love that you have for the community as well. But to go for love to this, Jesse, does Key's wig smell like Brent still?
Well, certain parts of Brent, yeah.
It's only funny because it's true.
It's true. The shifting eyes of Hearn over there. Well, really? Is that what we're going for? I never would have guessed.
Wow.
Joe, this is your first Kickstarter to be a part of, and it's an interesting one to be a part of because Certifiable doesn't exactly kickstart like everybody else. What has been your overall thoughts these 30 days that have gone by of the community that we have and of the way that we do our Kickstarter campaigns?
Well, it's been a thrill to be a part of, for sure, and it's been fun watching it develop. And I'd heard from some other designer friends of mine some like horror stories of trolls who will invade the comments section and kind of torpedo or sink their campaign.
Well, that's all we have. So we have nothing but trolls.
well, they work well together as a network. And, it's like, I was just thinking about this. It's hard to imagine even any kind of troll setting foot in there. They'd be eviscerated. So
Yeah.
it was fun to watch. And I saw every message, I made sure they all came through. And it was cool.
You are a glutton for punishment.
Well, that's what's so funny about, the original Orphans was the whole voice was
It was
trolling.
hard to read. It was good.
Didn't understand.
We
So-
didn't know. Rick would call me in his office and say, Jesse, read this email. And I'd read it. And he would say,
Are they
seriously? Oh, we couldn't tell because there was every now and then we'd get comments that they were
Well,
upset.
it's like-
but then most of them were naturally.
Some of them were so over the top. It's like, okay, they're just channeling
Playing
their
along,
inner
right.
orphan here. But other times, I'm thinking to
couldn't
myself,
tell.
oh my God, we need to lock the doors.
Yeah, because they're like, you guys suck. This is the worst campaign I've ever. You don't know blah 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 blah. We'll be back later. And I was like, I don't know where to go with that.
Be back later with a gun? I just don't know.
But that's been one of the interesting things is the Comment Cove has kind of dictated a lot of things. And yes, people ask for things and sometimes they're able to do it, sometimes not. But I think the humor has always been throughout the whole thing. And the humor has molded us to an extent, and we've molded it to an extent. It's been a real interesting give and take always.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean,
And
it's also
poetry, apparently.
Right, lots of
And
poetry.
Brent pointed out how much was. He was like, I know, because we have yet to do a campaign that the one or two poems weren't thrown out there, but Brent comes in my office and he's like, have you seen the amount of poems on there? I'm like, yeah, there's a lot, which is why we grabbed some. I'm sure it was one fed the other because we grabbed some of those for Key to read, and then I think that just exacerbated it, and all of a sudden it just really
A lot of
started-
people want to hear Key read the poems, and who knows, there may be a life for that after the campaign. We'll have to wait and see.
Which brings up, Brent, tell us a little bit, because we were talking about possibly using those. Talk a little bit about the cursory rhymes.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I guess you came to. I don't remember how it originated.
Well, the original Condell Cove EO was. They talked about doing a book, and I had even started a file 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, wait a minute, we could maybe do that now, but yeah, it's because you just kind of took it.
Yeah, well, you had some stuff, and I mentioned this in Discord at some point. I mean, some of the stuff that we're using, like it was even predates the company, but it looks like it was written for this book.
Yeah. Well, because EO was started before the company, not as Endangered Orphans. It was started as Stairs to a Window, turned into Better Days, then turned into Orphans. So
now, what's your backyard book? What's
My
that called?
Backyard.
My backyard.
That was not connected to any of those things. That was just Edward Gorey and. Like I said, a
And
little
Jesse
Burton-esque, yeah, but that was just influenced like a serial killer thing. But that really had nothing to do with it. But that was read during the first one. So it started with that, actually talking about doing a My Backyard, how could we produce this and add it on. But I think you had the idea, like we could just do a nursery rhyme. We have all the artwork, people like the art, so we took it off the cards and some new art and just have it slammed in this book where Brent is just going to go to town on it.
What I like about it is it's that some of it's going to be very specifically orphan themed. There's going to be plenty of that, but a lot of it's that kind of inspired by the world. It's dark, that kind of dark,
gritty, funny.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the Ghost of Benny Harris or the Teresa and Pip poem. Those are jacked up poems.
Yeah.
But it fits in that world. They're as fun as you want them to be, and like some of the ones you're talking about that aren't part of the. They're part of the world, but not part of Endangered Orphans itself.
Right.
They just have that very much that the Mother Goose type of lesson to be learned story.
Another thing I've mentioned in Discord, the way I described it, and I should have looked up to see how to pronounce his name. I never know if it's Silverstein. Silverstein.
It's like one of those Berenstein things.
But it's the way I explained it is imagine if Certifiable did their best impression of Shel Silverstein. It's not him, but it's like I've always loved his stuff growing up, and it's that kind of irreverent. But it's like imagine if you do that, you take it a little bit of a darker twist, but it's still fun. I mean, some of them are just going to be sad and depressing, of course. But then
some are going to be funny.
But there's others that are going to be dark humor. So far, I really like the breadth of content that we have.
The Giving Tree is jacked
Right.
up.
Yeah, that's true.
I know a guy that I don't know if y'all have seen it across social media. The guy who's rewriting all those children's books is from Mississippi. He's rewriting the ending to make them like, it's not as bad. Where you have to, he rewrote the end of the Giving Tree and all that stuff. But yeah, it's in some ways maybe not as that dark, but in other ways much darker.
Y'all are going to dig the book. It's going to be about 100 pages.
No, that's going to be fun.
Y'all are going to have fun. Quick side note. Is there any possibility of Bottle Top Chicks resurfacing, and what's the current situation on Disaster Knots?
Disaster Knots, we have to check, but yes, it is in the works. And there's a reason we have to check, and we can't tell you the answer for sure.
We can.
But do we? I don't even know that we know anymore.
Okay.
We'll hold on that.
So that one we're going to hold off on. It's just as popular here as it ever has been, and by that, there's a picture of it on the wall.
There's a picture of me on the wall, and I'm not popular at all.
Bottle Top Chicks. There's been more than a handful of conversations around here. There is a goal with that.
To to partner with Converse and rename it Ballotop Chucks.
You heard it here
It's been
first.
said. People have been talking about it, and by that I mean I just talked about it right
Right
now.
now. But it's on
And
the
now we're
internet.
talking about what he's
Since
talking
it's on the
about.
internet, it will live forever. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, talking
I like
about the BTC, getting rid of the minis, but still putting plastic, still having all the everything that it was supposed to be. But how can we cut down the price? How can we just sell it? Yes, that is conversation. I would love to say it's in the near future on the horizon because, frankly, the work is done. It is a
Right.
completed game. And I forgot, to be blunt, I forgot how much I enjoyed it until Hunter started playing it. He went on and on about how fun it was. I started playing it, and I was like, God dang, this is fun. This is a lot of fun. So, and there's even a bigger picture than just BTC that would come later as well, but we'll see where that goes.
Someone says, what shirt is Brent wearing? Looks
What?
like a CS Panda of some sort.
What is that?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? I guess I have to wait for the update.
I
for
just
it.
throw something on every day.
This whole thing?
You guys will see something tomorrow that will lead to a couple of other things, so that's just a tease
I
right
haven't even
now.
seen it yet.
How great
I
is
think
that?
you guys are going to probably
Oh, wow.
screen cap it
That's
and all
pretty
that.
great.
So, yeah. Screech wants to know, do we have any ideas for more orphan games down the road?
Joe? Just like, what the hell?
Maybe some expansion stuff.
Yeah, maybe some expansion stuff. I would love. I think somebody brought it up. I don't know if it was in Discord or in the Cove. Somebody brought up that it needs to have one more, just so it's a trilogy. If we can come up with something, or if someone can come up with something different enough than the first two, because first two have to do with shifting areas and player elimination. I'm absolutely not ruling it out. If something comes along, I wouldn't mind doing one more, but am I seeking it? Am I sitting down and say, God, what would be another good Orphans game? No, but I'm definitely not going to stop the thought from happening. You know, if somebody else would happen to approach us and say, hey, we got this game, we're a big fan of Orphans, here's what we got.
You can take the game you were telling me about earlier that you came up with. You can have that, but hunting the boogeyman.
Yeah.
It'll be the
Hunting the
killing the boogeyman. No,
Hey, children, run!
no. I mean, I'm saying that we could. That maybe it's the revolt, the revenge.
That's.
I'm just
I like
saying-
hunting orphans.
I'm just saying when it ends up getting there,
The
I'm,
game
I'm
could be
gonna.
called
I,
Child
it's-
Well, you don't like hunting orphans, you like hunting orphans. Orphans that are hunting, not you hunting the orphans.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Jesus. God damn, that's dark. Anyway, Fish Cube says, besides Beast, Joe, Anthony, Key, and Charles, are there any other certifiable studio personalities / collaborators that should be included in House of Wrath so that we can watch them die over and over?
Wow.
Was I included in the personality part?
You never are.
Only people who have
never am.
personality. Well, Steven and Angela, both the Rainbows, did a lot of work with Joe. Spent a lot of their time trying to mess around with the team, not the team, but the solo.
So, yeah.
And so we got to give hats off to them. I mean, I hate them and they're dumb, but
Yeah.
those two. Well, we got to give them credit because they're talking like future credit, but you got to give them credit.
But also,
for-
they're not going to be in the game.
Yeah, that's not the question.
Yeah, they're asking
Oh.
who were we killing in the game. We've got
Yeah.
Charles.
I thought you
we've
meant
got
just because I don't
Joe,
like them, I just assume
We've
they're
got
dead.
Coffee. We've got Buzz.
Yeah.
And,
Gotcha.
And all that. So no, I don't think there's going to be any of myself, Nate, Rick. I don't think we'll be put into the game.
Well, I could always change up some artwork, put some different names on there.
I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
I'm
Well,
just-
technically,
I'm just
Rick and I
grateful.
were in the first game, if you
I'm
really
just-
think about it, because
true.
I was the kid with the hat and Rick was the girl in the cloak. So,
I was also in KPC with no pants.
oh yeah, you got your own,
Yeah.
your entire own
Little
thing.
Winky
yeah,
and everything.
fine.
Yeah, little Winky was hanging
Plus,
out like this.
I'm just glad that I'm just glad that me disappearing for a little bit. I got through this entire thing without a single.
and then I put it right next to my mouth. I was like, ew.
Idiot.
I got through this whole thing without a single throat punch Thursday.
You got pretty lucky. It was threatened every
Yeah.
Thursday, but
Was
never
it threatened?
came. Yeah,
Oh, I did see it a couple
Patrick
times.
every Thursday made sure it
Yeah.
was throat punch Thursday, but it never went more than that. Jesse, can you tell us more about the artwork for the EO slipcover?
No,
Good.
because I have no idea.
Yep.
All I know is There was talk about it being die cut where.
But it's not just a cut. I mean, it's like a D6 case.
Yes,
Right.
it's going to be. If y'all
It's
know
gonna
our
be
quality,
really
it's going to
nice.
be. It's going to be nice. So the idea is all 3 games will fit comfortably. It will be designed for Condal Cove, House of Rath, and Last Winter Benny Harris will fit in this slipcase. But the slipcase, if I were to put my games in it like this, what I'm thinking is it'll be cut at an angle, so it's not just a squared off box, but so it'll have a slope to it, so when the games are in it, you could still see the games. The thought is it'll most likely be cover-esque of the silhouettes, and that maybe when the boxes come together, they'll also have the silhouette continuing from the slipcase designed into the box covers to the other side. So that's what I have in mind. Now, that there was at one point talking about the slipcase itself being die cut, that it's the actual Orphans that are a silhouette, like they're actually die cut, but the problem there is it would take one being at one angle when you go to slide in the box and it catches it and bends it, and I don't want that either. So, but yeah, the idea is it's, again, going to be something we think is really cool that we want to put on display, so it's going to be something fun.
I don't know if you guys, if there's anybody out there watching who missed the update today and earlier this weekend, we have changed out the die for a numbered die. It no longer has pips on it, and now has the numbers that correspond with the fate boards.
So that number, if I recall, that font for both Condal Cove, the original, and but I think it got changed. But this one is, the font is my handwriting,
Right.
And so that now is used as the number. So it's not just stylized numbers; it's the font from Endangered Orphans, and I think that's going to be fun.
Very true. Let's see, we got anything else from the Covians here. Lots of names for a trilogy of games. Orphans 3, Most Dangerous Game. EO 3,
I
All
like
Grown
Orphans
Up.
3. That's original.
Orphans 3, Endangered No More.
No,
Orphans,
that's Endangered Evermore.
Yeah. Somebody talking about a deck building Orphans. No.
Hey,
that
look,
was-
y'all
no.
get on it. Y'all get on that, and you just send us your idea, so we don't have to do all the work.
Rick, any serious talk about an Endangered Orphans animated feature?
Not animated. You know, so
Jesse.
What?
Dick.
Here we go. I get the popcorn.
well, I just appreciate the fact that he didn't say that I'm the one that planted that question.
No,
Sign, Pantsless Rick.
no one saw little Rick in there, so it's
From
fine.
day
No.
one, Rick has been
I mean-
excited about the possibility.
Yeah, I mean, so that's just my world. I mean, I want to create. I would love to have a YouTube series, something that we could do, a little like mini series, 10-minute episodes, but it would be live action. It would be with real kids. And actually, I had a guy write a script for the pilot, which I really like the concept of it. It didn't really.
The first one I thought was real good. The first one, because it was that
Yeah.
quick hit.
Yeah,
you know.
so and really kind of set up the world. So I want to do that, like really bad.
It's not out of the question. It's unrealistic. You know, you're talking about, we're going to film this thing, but it's not. It really,
Well,
with
actually,
Rick
I have-
and his connections, it's not completely.
No, it's not out
of the question.
Yeah.
No, it's not out of the question at all. I mean, one of the reasons why it hasn't happened a little bit more quickly, and it actually took Joe to kind of, with Joe bringing in his version of the game, because a lot of this
Breathes new life into the whole thing.
it really did, but the whole company was developed because Jesse and I worked together for many years prior to Certifiable, and in a lot of that time,
Rick was there too.
I
Yeah.
answered the phones.
did you really?
I washed the dishes.
No, but I mean, but part of,
You're joking,
I
bro.
wasn't joking. I was like, that's how. I was like, Brent's doing everything.
but a lot of the reason why Jesse and I worked together, and Brent did a lot of screenwriting, Jesse concept art, and I was trying to produce these features. So we would go out to LA, we'd pitch these ideas. A lot of during that process, the idea would get muddied because somebody that we gave some respect to for some reason said something, and I was like, "Oh, we got to do that."
Yeah, you know what
So I
makes this
screwed up.
better? You know.
So I completely made the vision that they came up with a little bit. I was more of a sellout, and I'm not ashamed to say it because I'm the guy that's trying to say, okay, how can we stay afloat? How can we
Can we make money off of this?
What can we do? But when we started Certifiable, it was always about honoring the vision that the creation was always intended to be.
Right.
So I kept going to Jesse saying, "Hey, look, I really think that we need to do a short series for Endangered Orphans," but he just never really. I mean, it was like, I think that what you imagine, what I was asking for is.
I'm imagining Rick's imagining something really cool when he's saying this.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing the exact same words he's saying, and I'm imagining something ferocious.
Ferocious? What is
No,
that?
does that mean, Brent?
don't even
What
acknowledge
does that
it.
mean, Brent?
Don't even acknowledge it.
So, but the reason
It
why
means intentionally awful.
well, no,
I'm imagining
so-
something bad.
but I see something that
Bad
could be a
kid
lot of fun.
actors, low budget, these things that go on and on.
No, but I'm
you know.
thinking something that would be legit shareable.
Thanks for backing me up.
Kind of something that would honor the whole world. Now, but one of the reasons why I didn't push it is because you just didn't. I mean, you saw it being crap.
Yeah, I just saw it being bad.
I didn't see it as being crap, and but then with us doing House of Wrath and us kind of bringing Joe's vision into the table, it kind of has opened up my eyes a little bit more to allow for the world to have more than, it's not just Jesse's show. Obviously the art, the style, all that's very much his, but having another voice in there, I thought kind of excited me to the possibility.
Well, when I started getting excited is when I started giving examples of these real mini shorts.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went back to a stairs to the window
Mm-hmm.
world that I was like, okay, that could be, if done right, that could be really cool.
So I really want it to happen. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Of course, the biggest issue is I do want it to be live action, and live action kids. We're in Mississippi. We would have to bring in some real good kid actors.
Like from Star
Millie
Wars.
Bobby Brown has said that she was interested in doing it, and there's been a few others.
Should be playing a mom by that point.
So, but yeah, that's a hope.
Hearn, as far as people sending in poem submissions for the book, where would they send those to?
I mean, they can send stuff in for. Jesse and I talked about this a little bit. It's mostly going to be, because there was a little confusion about that from some people early on, I think. It's mostly going to be our original content. That said, we were talking about
That's some
possibly
really
having
cool stuff, yeah.
having a small section of the book where we might include some backer submitted stuff. So if you want to, and we're not going to use anything without getting your permission first.
Yeah, because that's the danger. It was, some people look at that, oh man, mine was included in the book, and what the hell, man, you included mine in the book? It's like,
we
so
wouldn't-
Brett
we
will
wouldn't do that.
contact and say, look, we really like this one, is it cool if we use it in the back of the book? And
It's just
Send to your email?
Yeah, just my email, Brent@certifiablestudios.com.
BRENT@certifiablestudios.com.
You check your email?
Not
At
often.
least once a week.
Not from me. I get spam, don't
if
I?
they send them stuff, he will.
Do we really want to get into unanswered emails?
There is no monetary amount that will be given for any of the submissions. We will ask for your permission. So yeah, if you're interested in sending in some, by all means send some in, and we'll see what happens. I would think.
Speaking of while you're looking at that, we talked about doing the key poems. Which we might end up giving to y'all. I say giving, making accessible is the row of the key to poetry, where he's just reading off all the ones, putting it in one compilation, or giving y'all access without having to go to the end, and maybe taking off the end of where the stretch goals are unlocked. So hopefully that'll be something that will.
Yeah, we can put those on YouTube or something like
yeah.
that.
I
Easy.
think that we should do IMAX trailers for movies.
I think so.
I mean,
think
why
so.
not?
Yeah,
Have Key reading them.
let's do that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Oh God! Don't put that in their heads.
No, I'm thinking a 30-foot tall Key on
Right.
the screen.
Patreon, here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
This is incredible. I can't do his voice.
No,
but,
nobody can. I mean, he's the only one. Brent. That's as close as I can get. It's, yeah.
I can't do it. But.
I would think EO would be too dark to do as live action, but I'm intrigued.
Whoa! Have you not turned on your
That's
TV
CD, that's
lately?
CD Marine. That's CD.
Oh, come
So,
on.
It's not animals. It's just children.
Some people are just too sensitive.
I mean,
Not cats.
no animals were harmed. Kids, on the other hand,
Some of those will not be going home.
Yep.
And y'all are still talking about like bringing in these kid actors. It was like, no, you just take some orphans.
We've got an orphanage just down the street. I'm
No,
sure.
you tell them they'll win a spot at the orphanage.
Oh,
If they
I
do a
got
good enough job, they might get sent to the
it.
orphanage.
Exactly.
You get a forever home.
If you laughed at that, you're wrong. That was a test.
That was a test.
Well, we have had people. I told Rick over the past this weekend. I've gotten at least 2 emails. People saying, "Listen, I've adopted children. I have friends who adopt children. This game is too dark for us." We understand this game is not for everyone. Every time we talk about the game, we say this is kind of a niche audience, and even people
They know it.
Even people like Quackalope said, I wouldn't suggest this for everyone, but this is right up my alley. So there is a very select group.
We got the email about the guy brought up BTC. Wanted to know. He was like, man, he goes, they were just hating on y'all on BGG, and we're like, well, yeah, that's what they do. And but because it was actually because of this hatred,
Yeah.
he looked into it and he was like, what the hell? I like it. But then he goes even further into saying he has an adopted kid, and he was like, he just doesn't take his game so serious. He was like, I'm an instant backer of EO, and he went back and tried to find other games. Was saying he was glad this was released. It was just, I think, the eye of the beholder. It's as dark as you want to make it. At the end of the day, if it's a game that's it's designed to have fun, just go with it. That's what it is. If you want to put more on it, then knock yourself out.
Spoiler: we don't actually
Kill
children.
well, you can also look. I mean,
To
just
save them, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Some of us save them, some of us doom them. It's however you look at it.
well, but I mean,
Some of us
just
are
look
very good
at
saving them.
Right.
like originally when it was pitched to me, the name, and then of course you and Opie did a great job of reversing it out, saying you do understand that every superhero you love and adore is an
James
orphan,
Bond.
every single one. And I'm like,
There's the Tarzan, James Bond, Batman, Harry Potter, Indiana
Superman.
Not Indiana Jones, Superman. Yeah, there's a list. There's a list of all these endangered orphans. So the moment you start calling them that, it's like, yeah, welcome to the next level.
that's right, that's right.
So backer kit emails will go out October 1st.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to get in on that. For those of you who are adamant about getting a cultist add-on, set your little reminder for probably, I'd say by 10 in the morning. Who knows?
Don't be corning. Don't put me in.
Don't put you in a corner.
here. It's like.
Don't put baby in a corner.
Yes,
Stop it.
yes, that's the intent. The real reason why it takes so long is actually the survey's pretty much ready to go. However, it takes a couple of weeks before all of the Kickstarter kind of releases everything. They tell us who stayed in the Kickstarter, who canceled, what funds didn't make it through. And then once that happens, then all of the backer data is downloaded, and it takes a few days for BackerKit to kind of give us their green light. So that's the reason why I'm just kind of arbitrarily saying October 1st at the moment, but there's no reason why it can't be. That's a Thursday, and plus, this just give us all the time to make sure we're good.
Well, what happens though when backers don't get theirs because of the pre-orders, and then they don't get their cultist pack? I'm just saying that's pretty crappy on your end, Rick. Rick's
I really hope that we have a problem like that, because
that means we've got 1,000 of these.
that does mean that.
Yeah,
I just don't see
Angela
that
wrote,
being the
like,
case.
you realize we've got even more backers now? That's over half that's not going to get one. And blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
but I mean, honestly, some of those backers are $1 backers. Now, the thing that's interesting is we did promote a little bit more heavily this time. Every single one of our campaigns changed a little bit. Like, it used to be that our $1 backers were just in it to then switch tiers. But now we've changed the way that we're handling shipping and everything, so you can actually just add anything you want at that point. There are no, it's all just weight based. Makes it a lot easier. So a lot of people might have been at the $1, but we only have like 350 or so $1 backers at the moment. But hopefully they're going to be interested in adding the game and whatnot.
And the cultist.
And the cultists, maybe. Again, I really want to be wrong, but even now, if the F-off sleeve has anything to, as far as percentages, and a lot of our percentages from conversion are pretty accurate.
Right.
I'm assuming probably 25% will get it.
Okay.
Which would
no
probably
panic.
put us in the 600 order range.
So you got 400 of you who are smooth sailing.
Yeah, so we'll see. and even on the pre-order store, that's just we'll probably get I don't know, probably 20 orders tomorrow afternoon. People that said, oh, I just missed it. But then it's just we might get an order a day for a few weeks. I mean, it's not going to be a lot.
And there's going to be a lot of our stuff available through BackerKit, not just EO.
Everything's going to be available.
But yeah, all the games, accessories, dice
shirt.
cups, things like that, you'll find in
BackerKit.
BackerKit.
Yeah, well,
Not the shirt.
But also, along that note, if you go to certifiablestudios.com/store, you'll
/French
find
shirt.
Stop it. You'll find shirts. You'll find phone cases, coffee mugs. You'll find plush burdens.
Oh, and the flavor of the month is coming up at the end of the campaign? Oh, I don't remember.
Flavor of the month is coming up probably, if not this week, beginning of next week. And that's what we're doing with that is we are offering a shirt and a coffee cup that are only going to be available for that month. After that month is out, those are gone forever. So these are going to be limited
And
edition
the shirt
things.
is say an EO, not the shirt, the coffee cup.
The coffee cup is
It's a
EO.
limited coffee cup. When it's off the store, it's the same with the shirt. When it's gone, it's gone. We will not be re-releasing it. But the flavor of the month is a Endangered Orphans thematic cup. As well as the shirt is just very much a Covian thing, and then
Yes.
that one's gone. It's gone. And speaking of things that, because I also was thinking about the unlock that the last anti-stretch goal, because we told them in the update we didn't actually. This is where they find out.
All right, so lay it on them.
Lay it on, Brent.
Oh, I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Tell them what they get, Brent.
Okay, so wait a second. So I have to
He
think,
knows, he
literally
knows,
have
he
to
knows.
think about. Oh, I do remember. Okay, all right. So you get rather than make some other ridiculous component for this game, which we could have done.
Why give you something you could use in House of Wrath when we can give you something
Right.
you can't use at
So
all?
we took that thing away that we could have given you, and instead we're going to give you a new Plant of Eden token for D6 that features Emmeline's cat.
There you go,
And
boy.
what?
It's whatever you
Yes,
want.
Kiki.
Kiki! Yes, I had to think about it.
So yeah, Emmeline on her card has her little white catalyst, little beast cat, and she calls it Kiki. That little stuffed animal is now featured on an extra powerful Plant of Eden, may I just add. For those of you who have D6 Plants of Eden, they're natural 3s, and however many plants are on there, it's +1. Well, this one starts off as a +4, and again, it features little Kiki in the grasp of the Plant of Eden. You all get that now, so you could play with it.
If you don't have D6
In another
you can
game.
flip it or. I don't
You
do
can use it as the
something
first player token.
Drill a hole in it and make a neck on it.
Yeah. You got
So
some
congratulations, everybody who got House of Wrath will also get the Plant of Eden Kiki.
options. Yep. Also, I was wrong. I always say / it's /store.
I thought that was weird. I was like,
I bet you did. Asshole.
Visit the store often because if Dante and I have anything to say about it, we're
Yeah.
just getting started with those T-shirts.
Dante
We're
and
having
Hearn
blast.
have been knocking it out, which is great because I had some stuff that I was throwing together and I was trying to think of more ideas. And now that Dante and Hearn are in the same room, they're constantly firing off stuff back and forth. So we've got probably about like 5 more shirts
We
that
got
are
content.
in the
I
theme.
mean, we're throwing quality out the window. We're just coming up with as many crappy whatever, but you can get a whole bunch of them.
you get a whole bunch of crap at the same high price.
Patrick is asking, will the orphan wooden tokens be the same size as the D6 tokens?
Exact same tokens.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
that's the reason why we're.
So you could actually start sticking your orphan tokens in the D6 bag, or you could take your D6 monsters and put them in the House of Wrath.
right.
You can't do either of those things.
Matter of fact, now that Patrick just mentioned that, we should probably just sell extra orphan tokens for D6.
This video will also be available on YouTube tomorrow morning in case you've missed any parts of this. So fear not, we will have that available.
Is that it? Is that all the questions? Because some of us have work to do.
Well, we got just a few more minutes. We got 38 people in the stream right now.
38.
So if you guys got any final questions, we'll take the last
Otherwise,
10
we're just like
minutes
this.
and see what you
We're
guys have.
Until the questions come in.
Rick is a genius. Nice crossover with the tokens. It's not really a crossover, but thank you,
Yes,
Mello.
it is. Yes, it is. We're crossing 2 games over.
That's right.
With House of Wrath, they get D6. With D6,
Yes.
they could put a monster in House of Wrath.
Just for funsies. Put
It's a hack. It's more
put a dragon in House
more
of
of an
Wrath, see what
open-
Now,
happens.
and with so have we talked about that portion of it for the starter pack?
No.
Okay.
For those of you, this is a wrong update, wrong group of people, but 5 of you who are also backing D6, we got some really cool crap for the advanced D6 starter pack.
Which we still don't have a date yet as far as when that's going to be available.
Soon.
We can keep saying bald, but we don't have anything concrete yet. So yes, stay tuned. It's still shaping up. We don't have a price yet. We don't have a release date or an order date yet, but we will have those soon.
Soon, because I really, really want to add it to my collection.
We're also trying to make sure that all of our backers have the games in hand before we start putting other stuff out. And unfortunately, due to COVID, there are still quite a few, especially overseas backers, who have not received D6 yet. So don't lose hope, but we'll try and get it out there as soon as we can. Nate Hamlin would like to know, why is Jesse so fly?
Well, Nate,
I want to know this too.
some things were meant to be. Rick, can you answer why I'm so fly?
I would like to answer with another question that I just had.
Please.
How many of the people watching would be interested in? Rick is like, oh no.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
In
They already know
certifiable
the most every-
swimwear.
Certifiable swimwear.
That is horrifying.
I designed a one piece with a disaster knot with Mississippi on the front.
Okay.
And I thought long and hard of
Man.
it never got past designing.
Really? I could see
Just
it.
the top. I'm wearing a one piece now?
God.
This is D6 bikini or an endangered orphan banana.
Change topics.
Wow.
Dancing Ewok says, if we have an idea for a board game and we wanted to collaborate with you, how would we get in contact with you? Well, now that COVID has hit, I guess the best way would be to send an email with an idea. And if you have a YouTube video of you playing the game
That
and
was how the
showing
last
off
one, yeah.
showing off the game mechanics, that helps out a lot. Send it to me, Corey at certifiablestudios.com.
Yeah, people have been sending it to Corey, and Corey will come in and say, hey, it's what we got, and we'll check it out and whatnot. The other option is just making a trip down here, bringing your prototype, and we'll give it a shot.
Why not? Hopefully, once COVID's over, we'll start back up the First Friday group, and so that's always a great idea. If you're close to the area, bring it by then, and we got a lot of people that would love to play it. D6 Adventure Pack will be in the store. Yes, I imagine. No,
The adventure pack?
the
Advantage.
starter pack.
No.
D6 Advanced. Advanced
Okay.
D6.
Where would it be available?
The starter pack?
Yeah.
No, we're not ready to sell it yet, are we?
No,
They're
but I'm saying
asking
that's
me.
where it's going to be once we're selling it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
okay.
At that point, now we had talked about maybe doing like a really, really,
Expensive version, yeah.
no.
$300. Yeah.
All wood,
No, well, we still have some stuff to figure out on that.
Yeah.
as far as the extra stuff we were talking
No,
about.
as far as how we're going to go about actually selling it.
Oh, yeah.
More soon. We're not sure yet.
Yeah, we don't know. I just know I'm ready for it yesterday.
Where's the new
But my hope is that we can actually put it into the same production run
Yes,
with
yeah, that is the
with
goal.
who goes there and or
The idea, would be that if we do these two
Right.
games at the same time, it'll speed things up and make things way more convenient. So let's say that is the plan.
And then also, for those of you that are ordering Orphans, House of Wrath, we can kind of get a, because what happens with shipping costs is that first ounce costs the majority. And then every additional ounce and or pound starts the increase in shipping costs just goes down further and further and further. So adding something like a starter pack to House of Wrath would be a really good financial move to get them both at the same time.
Okay.
So let's say that's the plan. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
That is the plan.
Screech
But
wants
that
to know.
doesn't solve when we would or how we would actually sell it.
True.
Well,
Or
I'm just saying,
if
but
I
that would be the delivery time.
Bald.
Yeah.
Yeah, bald. Screech wants to know, where's the new Sugar Ponies game? Gosh darn it. Well, we didn't do one for this game. We do it for Who Goes There. So
And
we did
since
it for
we're
the
done with Who Goes
first and the
There-
second.
Oh, well.
We'll probably have some
What are you talking
images.
We've only done Sugar Ponies.
Well, I know, but what do you mean by oh well though?
I guess we won't have another one. Unless we do another Who Goes There. 3.0.
Screech, we'll release some more artwork fairly soon on the candy or cotton corns game. Then Sharkster wants to know, will the art continue to be released on Facebook for the other orphans now that the Kickstarter is over? Yeah, I'll continue every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We didn't do it Monday because it was Labor Day, but until the orphans are finished, I'll release
and don't
one.
be share all of them, but
Yeah.
don't get married to any of those because
Right.
there is a good chance like Lilith might be getting eliminated and replaced with another character. There's a couple characters that might not make it into the final game because there's other designs and other characters I like more. So
Yeah. My name is Mike. Odd question, but if I donated to St. Jude's, is there a need to send the receipt to you at this point since everyone's still getting the Fate board? Absolutely. Send me the receipt, screenshot it, just so I can add it to the total so that we can, here in the next week or so, have a list of this is how much we've raised for the charities,
awesome.
which is always great. Will shirts be in bigger sizes? 4XL, for example. Bigger guy here. They look cool and would like to get some. I think the largest size that Printful has right now is 3XL. We may, further down the line, we may do some especially one-offs where we may be able to do a larger size, but as of right now, with the company that we're currently with 3XL is the largest that we have.
we're with you.
We with you. What's this about St. Jude donations, says Dancing Ewok. Dancing Ewok, where have you
What
been?
the hell, Ewok?
Social
you don't
stretch
even know.
goals. We are donating to St. Jude's. We were asking at least 50 of our backers to donate, and they would get a special Fate board added to the game. We've had 50 plus people donate. Everybody's getting the Fate board. If you would like to donate to St. Jude's, a very worthy cause, you can go on to stjude.org/donate, I believe.
In fact, Ewok, if you want to go ahead and do that now, you will get the Fate board, and we'll go ahead and in your game we'll throw in wooden locks also.
Yep. We're nice like that. And as Patrick said, watch update number 9 on the page. Ewok says, I have been working and going to school, you dicks.
Blah, blah, blah,
LOL.
blah.
Don't tell me your problems. We just want your money. That's how it is. So with that, we'll go ahead and end it out. Joe, thank you for joining us.
Joe, do you have anything else you want to add?
Guys.
Do you have any questions or any comments, Joe?
Yeah, you want to...
I'm good. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything. Great campaign.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I agree with you. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate you as always. We will be ending tomorrow, so get
10
the
a.m.
word out at 10 a.m. Get the word out for people to jump in at this last minute and try and give us a little bit of a boost. But
And if the people who are at $1 want to go ahead and convert over to the actual backer, we will also include wooden locks in your games as well.
this
Yeah.
guy is a giver.
I'm like Santa Claus.
Nate Hamlin says, hey, Corey, can you lean back a little? We can still see your face. I don't know what that's about. What Nate Hamlin said. Screw you, Patrick. Thanks, guys, for the awesome campaign. Great seeing you guys here. Great campaign. More videos. Wooden locks for all. I think that's good enough. So, thanks, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate you. We'll catch you later.
Thank you.
Bye.